guys, it's Starting to Geek, and so I'm going to upload my second part to this Doctor Strange review. So this is going to be the spoiler-friendly side. So I repeat, this is spoiler-friendly, so I'm going to talk about the plot a little more in depth, and some of the jokes, and some of the Infinity War stuff, which is really cool because it's leading up to that. And so if you want a non-spoiler version, check out in my channel. There should be on this side I don't know where it is because I don't know YouTube that well yet, but there should be a non-spoiler review where we're talking about the movie in general. It's okay, it's not my best talk. If you want to know more about Doctor Strange in general, check out my blog in the link below at startingtogeekblog.wordpress.com. So it's going to be linked below. So this was, I said in my first video, possibly my favorite movie, I think, out of any of the Marvel movies. Don't know if it's just because it's fresh, but I loved it. There was a lot I liked about it. First off, the plot. So I'm a huge plot fan. I like good plot. I like plot that makes sense, that doesn't really have any plot holes. I feel like this doesn't have any plot holes. And that's kind of hard to do in a show, in a mystical world. There are multiple ways that they did that. For one thing, they did take a good amount of time. If you've seen the movie, obviously you know. And they spent about 30 minutes explaining his story. They showed how good a surgeon he was. They showed his determination. They showed kind of how much of an ass he was, if I can say that. I don't know if I can say that. A jerk he was. And that was awesome. Like, it showed you. And then it showed you, obviously, his accident and how he lost everything. Then it showed you how he literally was at the bottom. And so that's how he kind of went so crazy enough to try this. Because obviously a doctor dabbling in the mystical arts is kind of weird. And I like that with Doctor Strange. And so that was really, really fun to see, obviously. And then, but it was done in a way that if you knew his story already, which I had learned his story this morning, you didn't feel overwhelmed. You didn't feel like you were getting a rehash. It was kind of sped through reasonably well, and it was still great. It was still fun. Benedict Cumberbatch sold it. But it was also well enough that if you didn't know the story, which, like I said, I had only read about it, so it was the first time actually kind of like seeing the whole thing, you understood. It was setting up so you understood what was going on, which was really nice. Then you go to actually meet the mystical world, which I thought was fantastic. Well, first off, the first mystical world you get is actually in the opening. You see them then melding, which was just mind-boggling, the green screen work, and that ends up being like the simplest part of the movie. So then you go into the mystical world, and you get to meet Talia. I think Talia was her name. I looked up the actress name because I thought she was fantastic. Who plays the Grand Sorcerer Supreme. And she does a wonderful job. But Tilda Swinton. So, he goes in, he starts learning the arts. They spent a decent amount of time explaining the arts. It was a montage, but it wasn't a montage. They actually took things out and explained things, and really took the time to kind of explain the science of it. But at the same time, you really got that effort it is. It's not Harry Potter where you just make a spell. It's an effort, it's an exhaustion, it's a mind effort. You have to be smart to do this. It's not just say a spell. It's a skill. It's a skill set. Not everybody can do it, and you got that feeling. But it also wasn't so overly complicated that you feel like you didn't understand what was going on. I thought the lyrics of putting it together, where they were talking about the different dimensions and mining different dimensions, was very clearly thought out, very well written, so that an average viewer can understand what is going on. And then you slowly get that into finally the battle and all of the things that are going on. There's so much I want to talk about. I can't even think about it. I want to see the movie again, really, to understand all of what was in it. Which was really cool. There was one thing, I thought it was Thanos was the bad guy that they were hinting at the entire time, because you kind of saw him, he kind of looked like Thanos. He wasn't Thanos, he was this other demigod. So this is going to go now into my Infinity Wars, because the graphic CGI I talked about in the first video a little bit. I was worried. So when we first heard that Doctor Strange was being plugged into Phase 3 of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, it was kind of worrying because we weren't entirely sure how it was going to fit. And it fits. It really, really fits. Because, again, if this is spoiler friendly, he has, I think, the last Infinity Stone. So I'm getting a little curious about the Infinity Stones because I can't remember where all of them were. It's been a while. And I'm going to do a whole other video with the Infinity Stones because I actually went and saw the movie with a friend of mine who has no idea what I'm talking about when it comes to Infinity Wars. So I'm going to come through and I'm going to explain things. This is all based on my reading research, so it's not things that I don't know the comic books at all. I just know a little bit based on some of these websites I subscribe to. But so he has the Time Infinity Stone. It's interesting. And also there was definitely hinted at the very end of a second coming of a bad guy. There's going to be consequences for messing with time, and it's going to be Thanos. I just sent a message to my friend, and I told him, even though this is technically Phase 3 of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, started with Civil War, this movie to me feels like the end of Act 2. And this is a term, like, in the terms of play, like, where, like, play progression moves on. You got Act 1, which would be, like, Iron Man 1, Thor 1, Captain America, which really ended with the Avengers 1. Then you have Act 2, which is a little bit shorter. It's going to have all of the other things going on. This ends Act 2. The stage is now set for Infinity Wars, obviously, with knowing where all the stones are. The next couple of movies, my prediction is going to be we're going to lose a couple of the stones to Thanos, which is going to give him enough power to actually come to Infinity Wars, which should be interesting. I'm looking up where these stones are right now, but and then so this really feels like the end of Act 2 and really into Act 3, which was quite wonderful. Doctor Strange, it works. Like, it works with him in this universe as being a protector. Like, he's going to have some level of consequence, you know, because he is the master of magic. And then the cutscene. So if you have not seen the... I was fangirling because so if you've seen the scene, he obviously puts the time amulet back, and the guy goes, something about you need to learn the control, after all, like, Infinity Stone. And I'm like, ah! Like, I didn't do, like that, but I was like, and I was, like, fangirling as little as possible, because I had not put it together yet that was the Infinity Stone. Or I was slow in the uptake, or whatever. Because I was not expecting to see an Infinity Stone in this movie. Should know better. And then it leads to the last cutscene, which has him talking to Thor. He's gonna be in Thor 2. Whether it's just a cameo or just gonna do it, he's gonna help Loki find Owen. So this is definitely was leading into Thor 2, which is leading again to that next branch of the movie series. I didn't stay if there was another one. Everyone seemed to think there was a second aftertake. I did not stay. So I don't know if I'm slow in the uptake. I think everybody thought there was another one. I don't know. It was weird. Everyone literally sat in the theater long after the other movies. But yeah, no, so it definitely had the reaction I needed. So then they talk about, like, him going to see Thor. Like, I heard Chris Hemsworth's voice, and I'm like, that's Chris Hemsworth. They're not doing this to us. It was Chris Hemsworth and Benedict Cumberbatch talking to each other. And that hurt my ear for some reason, nodding like that. But, so he's going to be in the Space Buddies movie. I'm really excited about the movie, by the way. And, yeah, no, it's going to definitely tie in, I think, very well, obviously, now, because that's where the last stone is. So I'm going to, like, look for the stone real fast. Yeah, so this is not a 6th one, obviously. I'm reading this article, so sorry about this little pause right now because I'm trying to get to the end, and they're talking about how the director decided to let the world know that there wasn't going to be any Infinity Stones in the movie, and there are obviously Infinity Stones. And so the Space Stone is the Tesseract. The Mind Stone, which was the Scepter, which is now Arcade Vision. So the Mind Stone. The Reality Stone is in the Ether. That's in the Collector. And then the Power Stone, which is the Orb. And then we have the Soul Stone. So it wasn't the last stone. I thought it was the last stone. It's the 5th stone was revealed. Which is really, really cool. So then the Soul Stone, which I assume is probably going to reveal in Thor 2. I'm not entirely sure about that. But yeah, no, it's really, really good. Yeah, so sorry about the little pause. I was reading this article thing about where the stones are, because I couldn't remember where they were. But I'm pretty sure we've seen 5. I can't remember where the other one is. But we've seen 5 now. And then the Gauntlet is obviously in Thor. The Tesseract, Mind Stone. But yeah. So, they were talking about they think they know where the other one is, but so we have the 5th stone revealed. That's really exciting. I thought it was the 6th, but it definitely still makes sense that this is the end of Act 1. Act 2, I mean, until the end of the movie. But yeah, no, so I hope you like this kind of review. If you have anything else you want me to talk about, feel free to do in the comments. I'll go ahead and comment back to you, because I don't have any friends that are, huge Marvel nerds and can understand what I'm talking about when I say the Marvel Cinematic Universe and the Infinity War and the Time Joint, the Infinity Stones, and Thanos, and all those things that they don't know what's going on, because I don't try to keep track of these things. I do, and it's fun, and it's really fun. So I love this. Yeah, no, so this is my favorite movie. I want to see it again. I'll probably see it again hopefully next week. Yeah, no. So now I have to go watch, go get ready for bed, and hopefully watch some Supernatural, because I love Supernatural too. But, and I'm going to sign this off and go ahead and load this video up as well tonight. So go ahead and subscribe to my blog and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Any little bit helps and will help me be able to continue making these videos.